Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer Showdown. So I'm here with Hunter yet again. How's it going, Hunter?
Goes good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're going to play some Paper Magic, so it's automatically a good day.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to be back and play some more Magic. It's going to be great.
Alrighty, so today, definitely some spice that we're bringing to the table here today. So I'm playing Gruul Dinosaurs today. It's been my pet deck for a long time, pretty much since Pioneer's been a format. It's gone through a lot of renditions for the most part. A couple new changes today, at least compared to the last time I played the deck. Hunter, what are you playing today?
I am playing a newer variation on an old standard deck. We are going to play Abzan Rally. It was pretty potent when it was in standard. There's going to be a little bit of a different game plan in the main board, but it's still going to be the same strategy. Play some creatures, put them in the graveyard, and then bring them back.
Sounds dangerous, but okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle up for game one. We'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are ready for game one here. My hand's looking pretty okay. I've got 2 Commune with Dinosaurs, couple lands, a 4 and a 5. We definitely need to hit the Marauding Raptor off this Commune. If we hit it, we're looking pretty solid. How's your hand looking?
It's looking all right. I've got 4 lands, and I've got some early plays with an Elf and a Gruul Celebrant, and then I've got something big for the back half. And so as long as I draw something good to go, we'll be running for the races here.
Alrighty, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start us off here. Forest, and I'm going to play Commune with Dinosaurs.
Alright.
I love communicating with the dinosaurs. 3, 4. Okay, well, we didn't hit it, so that kind of stinks. But I'm just going to grab, let's see, because I've got 2 more lands in hand. We'll go ahead and just grab a Copperline Gorge and pass.
I'm going to draw. I'm going to play Razor Verge Thicket untapped, tap it for a green, and play a Land War Elves. And pass the turn.
Okay, we still didn't hit the Marauding Raptor. So I think here, I mean, I could Commune again. I think I probably should. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and Commune again. Obviously, we're going to hit the Marauding Raptor this time, I'm sure, because we're just like that. And we still didn't even hit the Marauding Raptor, so we're just going to grab a Register Alpha. And then I think I'm just going to play a tapped Rootbound Crag and pass.
Untap, draw. That was pretty decent, actually. We're going to play a Concealed Courtyard untapped. We're going to tap for 3, including a black, and play a Woe Strider.
Whoa.
When it enters the battlefield, I make a 0/1 goat token, and I can sacrifice a creature to scry 1. And it escapes for 4 it escapes for 5 and exiles 4 cards. Go ahead.
Okay, we really need something here. And our 12 drop was not it, so I'm just gonna play that and pass. So yeah, definitely Marauding Raptor is huge. When we get it, it definitely accelerates us.
We're gonna go ahead and untap and draw for turn. And I suppose gonna play a Razor Verge Thicket untapped. I'm gonna move to combat. I'm gonna attack for 4.
16.
And on my second main, I'm going to tap a white and a black to play a Gruul Celebrant. Whenever Gruul Celebrant or another creature Planeswalker I control dies, each opponent loses 1 and I gain 1. Tap 1, cast an Elvish Mystic, and pass the turn.
We take 1, or is it when it dies?
When it dies.
Oh, okay.
Not when it enters.
Draw. Of course, now we drew the elf that we don't really want to play on this turn. We're just going to go ahead and play Rampaging Raptor here.
That is a Rampaging Raptor.
There's definitely motivation to attack here, but even... I think we just attack, because you could even just, you know, whatever I decide to block, you could just sacrifice with the Woe Strider. I mean, obviously, unless you know... I think... Because you're at 20... I think we just go ahead and attack here. I think we gotta be aggressive. Gotta be aggressive.
I'm gonna go ahead and take 4 and go to 16.
Go ahead.
I'm going to... On your end step, sacrifice the goat to Woe Strider. I'm going to have you lose 1 and I will gain 1, and I will scry 1.
Seems correct.
Keep that on top. We're going to untap and draw for turn. Gonna tap a colorless and a green to play an Elvish Visionary. When Elvish Visionary enters the battlefield, I draw a card. Gonna play an Overgrown Tomb untapped and go to 15.
Damn.
Tap 3, including a black, and play a Grim Haruspex.
Ooh, throwback.
Whenever another non-token creature I control dies, I draw a card. I'm gonna go ahead and move to combat, and I will attack you for 5.
I'm at 10.
Go ahead.
You know what's funny? The first time I ever played against Grim Haruspex was at SCG Open, and my opponent had a 4-1, and I had never seen the card before, and he was really frustrated that I didn't know what it did, but I'm like, I've never seen that card in my life. Okay, well, I drew a Bone Crusher Giant, which I can kill the Woe Strider, which, or technically the Cruel Celebrant, which I think I probably should. I mean, I know you can just sack it to the Woe Strider in the end here, which it's tricky because I have a Regisaur Alpha that I could play, but then assuming I left them back on defense, because you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm exactly 10. So okay, so I have to be on defense, unfortunately. This is tricky. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play my land, because I'm definitely going to be doing that for sure. So, okay, because what if... So I could just play Regisaur Alpha, because I have Galta in my hand. So I think I'm just going to play the Regisaur Alpha here to be on defense.
That is a Regisaur Alpha.
So, and then trigger, I'm going to make this Dinosaur token. So I think... I have to leave at least one back on defense if my math is correct, because if I block... Yeah, I think I gotta leave at least one on defense. I mean, if you have another guy that drains, like, I just accept the fact that I'm dead. If you have another guy that drains, I'm for sure dead. I think at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna attack for... Do I attack? Yeah, we'll attack for 4.
I'm just going to go ahead and take 4 and go to 11.
Okay, go ahead.
On your end step, I'm going to sacrifice Elvish Visionary to Woe Strider. So it's going to trigger Cruel Celebrant and Grim Haruspex. So I'll be at 12, you'll be at 9.
Yep.
I'm going to then draw a card, and then scry 1 off of Woe Strider.
Whoa!
We're going to put that to the bottom. And I am going to go ahead and untap. We're going to draw for turn. I'm going to pay 2 and go to 10 with a Temple Garden. Gonna tap this for a white, gonna tap this for a black. I'm going to cast a Cartel Aristocrat.
Gross!
I sacrifice another creature. It gains protection from the color of my choice until the end of turn.
That's a throwback card right there. I haven't seen that card in a while.
Now, I am going to float 2 green with my Elvish Mystics, or my Elvish Mystic and my Land War Elves. I'm going to sacrifice the elf to Woe Strider. I'm going to drain you for 1. I'm going to draw a card and scry 1.
So, I was at 9. I think
You're at 9.
Yep, okay. So then you're at 11.
Scry 1, push that to the bottom.
Here, we'll do it this way.
And then I'm going to sack another elf
Okay.
to the Woe Strider.
7, you're at 12.
Draw. Whoops. Scry. Keep that on top. Drain. Now we're going to sacrifice the Grim Haruspex to the Woe Strider. I'm going to scry 1 and then drain you.
13 to 6.
We are going to sacrifice the Woe Strider to Cartel Aristocrat. Drain you for 1.
5 to 14.
We're going to sacrifice the Cruel Celebrant to Cartel Aristocrat. Drain you for 1.
4 to 15.
Going to use the 2 floating and float.
To Rally the Ancestors.
2 floating, yep. We're going to cast Rally the Ancestors for 3. So this is going to return each creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield. And then I'm just going to do the loop again.
And that's game.
All right.
I think there was some motivation to stomp the Cruel Celebrant, I think that's the name of it.
Yes.
My thought process was I had the Galta, so essentially if you had another Drain guy or Rally, I was for sure dead at that point. So it was one of those things where it was just going like all out pretty much. Definitely not hitting the Marauding Raptor. I'm not going to lie, with a hand like this, I think Marauding Raptor, if I would have had it on 2, I think it would have been over.
Yeah, your guys are pretty big and much bigger than mine, so if you manage to go just over the top before I can get my board state going, it's probably not going to be a good time.
Right, so, okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and shuffle it for game 2. Alrighty, so we are back for game number 2. I am on the play. I have Marauding Raptor and a couple of 4-drops. I only have 2 lands, though, so I really need a 3rd land here. But if we get the 3rd land, we're looking really good. How's your hand looking?
It's really good, actually. I've got 4 lands, a Coco, and a couple of early game creatures to kind of stall out to get me to Coco, so we're going to keep this.
Okay, alright, well, I'm going to start with Tap Stomping Ground. Go ahead.
I'm going to draw, play a Blooming Marsh untapped, and pass.
Draw a land. Okay, well, good. We drew the land we needed. So I'm going to play Marauding Raptor, and I'm going to pass.
I'm going to draw. Going to play a Razorverge Thicket untapped. Tap 2. Play a Cruel Celebrant and pass.
Alright. Draw. Well, we drew another land, which was amazing for us. So I'm going to go ahead and play a Rampaging Raptor. I'm going to trigger the Marauding Raptor, and then I'm going to attack for 8.
That is very annoying. Well, we're just going to take 8 and go to 12 here.
Okay, and pass. Oh, I'm taking it off my own. Go ahead.
Untap and draw.
Yeah, Marauding Raptor is symmetrical damage. You didn't know?
Be a lot cooler if it was. Gonna play a Concealed Courtyard untapped here. It's definitely an interesting turn of events now. I still think we're just gonna, we're gonna go ahead and play another Cruel Celebrant, and then tap 1 and play an Elf and pass.
Alright, untap, draw. Well, we drew another land, which, I mean, at this point, it's fine. Like, we'll take it. So I've got a couple different plays I could do here. One short from Galta. I think we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna play the Register Alpha.
Yeah, that is a Register Alpha.
So we'll do the Register Alpha trigger first, and which triggers Marauding Raptor, and it triggers off of the token entering as well. So Marauding Raptor is now a 6/3 solid threat. And then we are going to move to combat, and we're going to go ahead and attack for, this is 13, right? Because 4, 10, 11, 12, yeah, 13. Casually, just 13, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and throw a Cruel Celebrant in front of the Marauding Raptor and take
7, but then you'll gain 1.
Yep, so I'll go to 5, and then I'll go to 6, and you will go to
19, yep. Okay.
This is dead.
And pass to you.
We're going to untap and draw. Not what we were looking for. Not another land, that's for sure. So he's going to Galta me and kill me next turn?
What? No. Oh.
Gonna play a land for turn, and we're gonna have to go ahead and just fire off this Collected Company to see if it gets me anywhere.
Spin the wheel!
And it does not. We're going to have to scoop that up there.
What's crazy, though, is this exact hand is what would have happened if I hit the Marauding Raptor off of the commune on turn 1. Like, that was basically what our hand would have been.
I needed to draw one of my elves in the first 2 turns instead of 2 lands for that hand to be relevant. It just got way too slow there.
Right.
I didn't have that I didn't really have an explosive play.
So you're telling me you weren't on turn 4, you weren't attacking for 13? Like, come on.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready for sideboarding here. So we're doing 2 pre-boarded games and 2 post-boarded games. We will see you in just a second for sideboarding. Alrighty, so we are here for sideboarding. Hunter, what are you taking in? What are you bringing in? What are you taking out, and why?
So I'm going to bring in 4 Skyclave Apparition and 2 Scavenging Ooze. I have a feeling that I might just need to go a little bit more grindy in the matchup. So the Skyclaves and the Scoozes are going to kind of help me grind, have a little bit of interaction while still being a creature to hit with like my Cocos and my Rallies. We're going to trim just a couple of Elvish Visionaries, a Grim Harespect, a Landmore Elves, Zulaport Cutthroat, and a single Rally. Normally I don't want to cut rallies, but in this instance I'll have enough card draw and enough grindiness to probably get to the rally later on. I didn't trim any 4-ofs of anything because I don't want to cut too heavy on the game plan, so it was just some light trimming here and there.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So honestly, I pretty much did the same thing. So I'm cutting 2 Communes, 1 Reckless Rage, 1 Domri, 1 Ripjaw, and 1 Carnage Tyrant. Kind of along the same thing. I like my game plan overall, and I just decided to just trim a little bit of everything. Decided to bring in 2 Torment Scripts, because obviously I bring it in for all the graveyard matchups. We got the 1 Grafdigger's Cage, which is very, very good against your deck, just because you're not able to rally anything, and if you collected company, it stops them from entering the battlefield. Ferocidon, which probably is honestly my best sideboard card in the matchup. You don't gain any life from your Cruel Celebrants, and you take damage from when you play more creatures. So Ferocidon is probably my best card in this matchup. And then obviously the 2 Clothis, which is great at just picking apart your graveyard, gaining me life, that kind of thing. Clothis unchecked, pretty much you kind of just win the game with it for the most part. So that is all I'm bringing in here. So okay, we're going to go ahead and shuffle up for game number 3. We'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we are back for game number 3 here. Hunter is on the play. My hand's looking pretty good. I've got a Llanowar Elf, a Tormod Script, a Ripjaw Raptor, and a Reckless Rage, and a couple lands. So it's pretty much right where we want to be. How's your hand looking?
My hand is also looking pretty good. I got 3 lands, an Elf, and a Visionary, and a Skyclave Apparition for later on. So my hand is also kind of where I want to be right now.
Gross. But okay, alright, Hunter is on the play.
We're going to start off with a Razorwood Thicket untapped and play a Llanowar Elf and pass.
It's such a good feeling when you play Fast Land Elf.
Fast Land Elf is so nice.
You're just like, oh. Alright, well, speaking of Fast Land Elf, I'm going to go ahead and play a Llanowar Elf and a Llanowar Elves. Well, Lair of the Hydra and Llanowar Elves, pass.
Alright, untap and draw. We'll go ahead and play a Blooming Marsh. I'm going to tap 3 and play a Grim Haruspex, which I just drew.
Oh,
go ahead.
Alright, I'm going to draw. And we drew a land. So, okay. Wow. I have Reckless Rage. I'm not going to Reckless Rage with my Elf right now, just because that does not seem like a very good play. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the Stomping Ground tap. I could play the Crypt, but I think I want to just hang on to the Crypt to give the illusion that I don't have any graveyard hate, and I'm going to go ahead and pass.
We're going to untap and draw. Drew a land, which isn't the best. We're just going to go ahead and play Concealed Courtyard untapped. Going to tap 2, cast an Elvish Visionary. When it enters, I'll draw a card. And that was a decent hit. We're going to go ahead and play second Llanowar Elves. Going to move to combat, and I'm going to attack you for 4.
Well, unfortunately I got the Ripjaw, so I definitely can't block here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the 4 at 16.
Go ahead.
Alright, hopefully draw something good here. We drew another Reckless Rage, which, I mean, it's not great, but I think here, I mean, it's great next turn. It's definitely very good next turn. I think we're just going to go ahead and play the Ripjaw Raptor here, and then I think now I need to go ahead and play the Tormod Script, and I'm going to pass.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and untap and draw for turn. Drawing another land isn't really where we want to be, but that's okay. We're just going to play a land tapped. Going to tap 3 to white to play Skyclave Apparition.
No.
We're going to go ahead and exile the Ripjaw
my
Raptor.
favorite dinosaur.
We're going to move to combat and attack 4/6.
Blech, I'm at 10.
I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay, well, I could really use a good draw here, and Besiju is definitely not it. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Mountain here. So I've got the 2 Reckless Rages, which I can definitely hit the Skyclave Apparition, which seems like an okay play here, but I think for right now, we are just going to go ahead. I think we don't mind trading, at least with the Llanowar Elves here, so I think we're just going to go ahead and pass.
We're just going to untap and draw for turn. You're going to play Temple Garden untapped and go to 18.
18.
And I think we're just going to move to combat and attack with everything.
Tagging with the boys. Okay, so this is going to be really funny. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Actually, hold on, does that work that way? I don't think it does. Because I could go... Because I could activate the lair. I could use the mana itself. Yeah, that's what I have to do. So, okay, so I'm going to activate Lair of the Hydra for 3.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Reckless Rage the Lair of the Hydra to the Skyclave apparition.
Sure.
So then I'm going to get a 4/4, which we don't have the XX, so I'm just going to use this nice, beautiful custom art token here, and then we're going to move to blocks.
Yep.
And we are going to block the Grim Specs.
All right. We will take 3.
Yep, so I'm at 7.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay, all right. Definitely a weird turn there with Lair, but it ended up working out okay. So we're going to draw, we're going to finally draw some action here. I'm going to play the Carplusian Forest. And we're going to go ahead, tap 4. We're going to play a Rampaging Raptor. We're going to start getting frisky a little bit.
All right.
In this case, I don't know if I really... I mean, I could be a little bit more defensive here. I don't know. Because you're at 18, 2 cards in hand. I think we're going to go ahead and play it somewhat safe. And I'm just going to attack with the Rampaging Raptor.
Well, even though you have it on the field, I think I want to try to force you to use it now if you want. So we're going to tap 5. I'm going to cast Rally the Ancestors for 3.
So, I don't really want him to get his dude back. Because you could... Let's see, because returning exile those creatures at the beginning of your next end step.
Next upkeep.
Next upkeep. Okay. Next upkeep. I don't think it's going to get any better than it is right now, so we'll go ahead and we'll crack the crypt here. We'll go ahead and do that just because you only have one other card in hand, and at that point we'll let it happen. So okay, so yeah.
I'm just going to take 4 and go to 14.
And I'm going to pass to you.
All right, we're going to untap and draw for turn. Well, at this point, I don't really have much else going on. He has a 4/4 and a 1/1. I think we're going to offer the trade the 1/1s, and he can eat one of my guys if he wants. We're going to go ahead and just attack for 3. Okay,
so let's see. So 14, 8, 9, 10, 12. Let's see. I'm trying to math here. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10, 11, 12, 13. I could do 13 on my next one if I'm not, or 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so I could do 13. We'll have the lair, but that still doesn't help anything. We'll just go ahead and, let's see, you've got 2 cards in hand. We'll just go ahead and we'll block Atlanta Worlds, and then we'll take 2.
All right.
So we'll go to 5.
On my second main, I'm going to tap 2 green, and we're just going to play 2 more elves. Pass the turn.
Elf Flooded. All right, so we're going to draw, and we're going to draw a solid magic card. So we're going to play the Besage You. Very interesting here. So we've got, like, removal to boot for sure. A couple different lines of play we could make here. I think the best thing to do here is we're just going to move to combat. Well, because we could do, let's see. Because we could do 9. So that 1. So be at 1. So, okay, we're going to move to combat. We're going to go ahead and attack for... Actually, maybe we just play it defensive here. Maybe that's the right thing to do. Yeah, we'll attack for 8.
I will, I guess, take 8.
Okay, all right. So you're at 6, right? If my math's correct.
That would be correct.
6K.
Unfortunately.
I think we just go ahead and pass. I think we hold what we got.
Gonna untap and need something really good off the top here.
It's probably another land. I feel like that's the ongoing story of you here on Pioneer Showdown. It's just
it's normally how it goes. It wasn't a land, but I don't think it gets me out of this situation by any means. So I'm just dead to you activating that.
Yes, the secret trample text on Rampaging Raptor.
Yeah, I suppose we still go ahead and play it.
Zulaport. Is it when it enters too, or is it just dies?
Whenever a creature dies.
Okay.
I suppose move to combat, and we will attack you with 2 of the elves. Get a little risky here.
Let's see. Put me to 3. That'd be 2. I think we'll just take it.
Okay.
We'll go to 3.
I will pass the turn.
All right. End step. I'm going to Reckless Rage your Zulport Cutthroat with my Rampaging Raptor.
You'll lose one, I'll gain one.
So 2 to 7, right? Yep, 2 to 7. And then we will also, on end step, we will stomp you for 2.
I will go 5.
Okay, so yeah, 5. Untap. Draw. I think that's for sure a kill now, I think. Because that even has trample, so if you go block, you're at 5. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. We have a Register Alpha. Yep, so trigger. Yep, make a dude. So, okay, that was a weird game for sure. I feel like that was like a lot of like, I don't know, it seemed like you were like a sack outlet away from really like being able to do your thing. And
yeah, I kind of ran out of steam there, drew a couple of lands when I didn't need to, and having all those elves back to back like that also didn't do justice either.
And that's always the thing is, I play, you know, a lot of elf decks, and like it stinks so bad, but that's just how it goes. Like, you know, you try to get those like turn 1 elves, but then late game you're looking for gas and you draw the elf and you're just like, okay, this is terrible.
Oh yeah, that's normally how it goes.
Right, but okay, all right, well, we are going to shuffle up for our final game here. We'll see in just a second. Alrighty, so we are ready for game 4, our final game here. My hand's looking pretty good. I've got a Mystic, a Commune, a Reckless Rage, and a Marauding Raptor. So, like, honestly, this is a really good start for us. How's your hand looking?
My hand's looking pretty good. I got 2 lands, 2 elves, a Visionary, a Grim Harespix, and a Cruel Celebrant. So this is kind of like
this
good spiciness.
This is going to be a fight right here. This is going to be a fight. So, all right, well, you are leading us off here.
All right, we're going to play Blooming Marsh and Elf. Say go.
Draw. All right, I'm going to play Lair of the Hydra into Elvish Mystic. Go ahead.
All right, untap and draw. Decisions here. I suppose we're going to go ahead, play this, untapped, and we're just going to play Grim Harespix and pass.
All right, draw. Okay, well, so we don't have double red, obviously, so we can't go Dude Reckless Rage. So at this point, we can just disguise the fact that we don't have a Marauding Raptor in our hand, and maybe we'll get another one. So we'll go ahead and Commune. We got 2 4-drop dinosaurs. We already have 3 lands. We technically could use another red source, though, so we'll go ahead and play... Actually, do we want a 4-drop dinosaur? Because we could... Actually, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to take the Ripjaw Raptor here.
Oh boy.
So that way, the following turn, we can play Ripjaw and a removal spell. So... Then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to flip that in a second. We're going to play it as the Cragcrown Pathway and play Marauding Raptor and pass the turn.
We're going to untap and draw for turn. Going to play another Razorburge Thicket. Then we get to go ahead and we're going to play a Cruel Celebrant here.
Cool.
Tap these 2, play an Elvish Visionary to draw a card. And I think I'm going to offer you the trade and attack for 3.
I am never going to offer that trade.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Okay, you're still at 20, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Draw. So, we could play Register Alpha here, but unfortunately, we have to kill that Cruel Celebrant. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and... Just in case we draw a better land, we're going to go ahead and we're going to play a Ripjaw Raptor. So we're going to do the nice little neat synergy. So we're going to deal 2 damage to the Ripjaw Raptor, and it's a dinosaur, so Marauding Raptor is getting +2/+0. And Ripjaw Raptor, whatever still damage, I'm going to draw a card. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card.
Pretty good.
I'm going to go ahead and play our Sekenzen here, and I'm going to move to combat, and I'm going to attack for 4.
We are just going to go ahead and take 4 and go to 16 here.
All right. I think just in case you have a collected company, I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to go on Reckless Rage, your Cruel Celebrant with my Ripjaw.
Sure.
So you're going to drain me for 1, so you're at 17, and I'm going to draw a card off of the Reckless Rage.
And I'm going to draw a card off of my Grim Harespix.
And since we are in Top Deck City, I'm just going to go ahead and throw out my Tormod script right there. So, and I'm going to pass.
Untap and draw for turn.
2 very good starts for both of us here.
Yeah, it was good until I drew another few elves.
Just poop soup.
Oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and go to 15 and just run all this stuff out. We're going to play an elf.
Jeez.
We're going to play an elf. And we're going to play another Cruel Celebrant.
Jeez.
And we're just gonna go ahead and pass.
You can attack now. I mean, that's...
Nah. All right.
All right, well, we drew a tap land, which, I mean, isn't fantastic for us. So, it's really interesting here, because I have another Reckless Rage. So, I could theoretically, we're going to definitely kill the Cruel Celebrant here. It really just comes down to what? Because we also have a Bone Crusher Giant. So, we could even go stomp your dude Bone Crusher Giant and do it that way. But I'm almost kind of liking... we could kill your Grim Haruspex and then kill your Cruel Celebrant, which, now talking through it, I kind of like that a little bit better. So, we're going to go ahead and do this.
And
so
double removal here probably is going to win you the game, but we're going to see how this turns out.
So, there's really no reason to not at least attack with just the Ripjaw Raptor right now. So, we're going to move to combat, and I'm going to go ahead and attack for 4.
We're just going to take the 4. I don't want him to run extra cards. We're just going to go to 11.
That's what I love about Ripjaw. You just like... It's just like almost just 4, like every turn, you know? It's just fantastic. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and Reckless Rage. We're going to target the Haruspex first because I'm going to take another damage, but I don't want you to draw another card. So I'm just going to go ahead and Reckless Rage that.
So you are going to lose 1 and I will gain 1.
So 15 to 12, I'm also going to draw a card. And we drew another Register Alpha, which that'll be good for us later. We'll play the Copperline Gorge. And we will tap 2, and we will stomp the Cruel Celebrant. So
lose 1 and I'll gain 1.
So I'm at 14, and you're at 13, right? 14, 13? Okay. And we're going to pass.
Gonna untap and hopefully draw something really good here. That was a pretty good draw, I won't lie. Gonna play a land tapped.
This is also on an adventure that is not,
and
not currently being cast.
While he's tapped out and only has a Tormod's Crypt on the field, we're going to go ahead and fire off a Collected Company here.
Yep, and I have no responses.
Look at the top 6, and I'm going to put up 2 creatures, converted mana cost 3 or less onto the battlefield.
Did you play the Blooming Marsh tap then this turn?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you didn't overtap for that. You're good.
And we hit some good cards. We hit Grim Haruspex and Cruel Celebrant, so we are going to do them like that. Put this back in this order. It goes to the graveyard. And I think here that he and I are both kind of on a race mode. So I think we're going to go ahead and actually just attack with 3 of my creatures.
So at this point, I'm going to be taking damage no matter what, realistically, because even if I mean, I could maybe not gain the life, but I don't think that's as relevant for us. I mean, it is relevant, but at that way, at least it's less creatures I have to deal with. So I'm just going to go ahead and block the Elvish Mystic, and then I'll take 2, but then I'm going to take another one from the drain, so you'll be at 14.
You'll be at 11, and then I will also draw a card off of the Grim Haruspex. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn.
Alright, we're going to untap, draw. Unfortunately, I drew that 1 turn too late. I drew a Grafdigger's Cage. So,
yeah.
A little late on that one. But, we still are going to... I'm only going to have to tap 4 because we're pro gamers here. And I'm going to play a Regisaur Alpha.
That's pretty good.
So I'm going to go ahead and trigger the Marauding Raptor twice, once again, because I have more dinosaurs. And then I'm going to move to combat. And I'm going to... I don't want to trade your Llanowar Elves for my dinosaur because it has 2 damage on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and attack for, this is 10 right here. I'm just going to attack for 10.
We're going to put the elf in front of the raptor, take 4, go to 10.
10, and then you'll gain 1.
Yep. And this will die. I'll drain you for 1, and I will draw a card.
I'm also at 10 life if I can find the 10 on this dice. There we go. And if only they were my dice and I knew where they were at. So, and then second main phase, I'm just going to go ahead and play a Grafdigger's Cage. So we have just all of the hate here, and I'm going to pass.
Alright, we're going to untap and draw for turn.
So we got a little bit of a lockdown here. It's nice. We stopped the rally draw, and we stopped the Collected Company draw.
Drawing another land here was not really what I wanted, but we did draw a Elvish Visionary off the Grim Haruspex, so we're going to go ahead and play that now. It's going to draw a card when it enters, get us a little bit of a redraw here. And that right there was actually a very, very good draw for us. We're going to go ahead and play a Godless Shrine untap and go to 9. It's a little risky, but we kind of need it because I tapped wrong, not remembering that I had this card in the deck. Pro Gamer moves.
You drew the Skyclave, didn't you? I was actually just thinking about that. Skyclave would be kind of brutal right now.
We're going to go ahead and play the Skyclave, and I think that knowing what he has going on right now, I think we're just going to go ahead and take the Ripjaw Raptor and try to fight his defenses just a little bit. And then I'm going to just go ahead and pass the turn.
Alright. Tap. Definitely looking for a removal spell right now. A Galta would be the best draw. Definitely not the Elvish Mystic. That's definitely not what we need to draw. So it's tricky because he's just got so many little dudes out, and we definitely, like, Trample is pretty huge for us right now. I think we're just gonna go ahead and I think we just be mana efficient and we play another Register Alpha.
That's pretty good.
So trigger, I'm gonna get another homeboy here. So let's see, because it's tricky because I feel like I can't overswing too much here. Obviously the Marauding Raptor triggers. I think in this case, let's see, because I could attack. I'm definitely going to be attacking with a Marauding Raptor. Let's see, because that'd be... That's tricky. I feel like I definitely want to attack with the dinosaur tokens, because they do have trample. Let's see, none of your small duders can trade with my alpha, unless you like do, Visionary Mystic block or whatever. I think in this case, I need to be a little aggressive and basically force you to have to block, at least somewhat. So we'll move to combat. And I think... Let's see, because at this point... I could attack here, because I think if I attack here... I feel like I need to leave something back. Well, I need to leave more than the Mystic, because if I attack with this, you do that... 8... I think we're just going to be a little risky here. We'll just go ahead. We'll attack with the Register Alpha that does not have 2 damage on it already. So I'm going to attack here. Okay. So this is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 1 token already has the damage on it.
It should have 2 damage.
Well, 2 damage, yeah. It has 2 damage on it.
So I think how I'm going to go ahead and do this, we're going to have to shove some dudes. We're going to put an Elvish Visionary in front of the Regisaur Alpha. I'm going to put an Elvish Mystic in front of the one with 2 damage, and then we're going to put another Elvish Visionary in front of the Marauding Raptor. So I will take...
It'll take
5
yep.
with Trample.
Yep, it'll take 5.
So I will go to 4.
Yep, and then you'll gain 3 from your 3 dudes dying.
And you will lose 3.
Yep, so I'll be at 7. This token dies.
And then I am also going to draw 3 cards with Grim Haruspex.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Gonna untap. Draw for turn. Now I'm having a little bit of regrets of not getting rid of the Grafdigger's Cage, because I just drew 2 collected companies. But we're gonna play a Concealed Courtyard tapped. We're going to play a Zulaport Cutthroat.
Gross.
And I think... So I could, if I attack with this, you'll block there. You'll lose 2, I'll gain 2. You go to 5, I'll go to 9. I don't think that's probably good enough. We're just going to go ahead and pass.
Alright, we want... Galta would be our absolute best draw. I don't even know what else besides that. I mean, there's other good draws, but that's for sure the best. So, draw. That's definitely not it. Just another land. So, we're at 7. Got... technically 5 homeboys. What what is the line here? So if I play this, Coco doesn't work for you, so I don't have to worry about that. So if I'm gonna envision this real quick. So let's just say you go here, and this would be the biggest dude. I play this, and I don't think it's enough because you block. Presumably, would be. It's not going to matter either way, assuming I have trample. Because your biggest dude is an X2, and then I have that guy, which triggers that, so you would take not enough damage. So, okay, and then I would take some damage for sure. So, definitely not working out super well for me there. Yeah, because you have 2 drain guys. So, actually, even if I attack and that happens, then I'm actually just dead. So I can't do that, unfortunately. Okay, so I guess I have to play defensive here, which is unfortunate. Unless I do, what if I do that? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then block. Okay, sorry, I'm mathing real quick. This is important. All good. It's important math. So if I attack, so that'd be would that be exact damage? Yeah, because it'd be 1, 5. Oh no, it'd be. Oh no, that'd be 7 damage. I think I have exact lethal. Yeah, I think I have. Okay, I think I've got it if my math is correct. Rampaging Raptor, trigger the Marauding Raptor, move to combat, attack. I think I have, because I have enough trample damage right here. Because you just go block, block, block. These are trample, doesn't matter. You have an X2, and then I pump it, so it'd be 6, 7, 8, 9 trample damage. I think that's enough, but...
Oh, let's see here.
If my math is off, then I die, then whatever. But I think it's right.
There.
This is 2 dudes, yeah. Oh wait, then how was I off then? Maybe I was thinking something else then?
What's the Marauding Raptor at?
It's a 4-3. Yeah, 4-3.
Because you played the
Yeah, the Raptor. Unless I was like... Unless I was thinking I only had 4 creatures for some reason, but... Oh wait, no, I was thinking. Okay, yeah, I'm not attacking with the Ripjaw Raptor. It's under the Skyclave. I was like, wait a second, how was I off? Yeah, okay. I was so confused. I'm like, wait,
we'll just
we'll get that out of here. Yeah. I was like, wait, how did I miss that? How is that? Why did I have to think about that so much?
So I do that there. Well,
I think it's exact lethal. Because you block here, then it would be 5 trample, and then I pump the Rampaging Raptor.
5, 6. Yeah,
that's exactly
unfortunate.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that's exact lethal. Jesus, wow.
The
sky. Oh, jeez. That was
one card away.
That game was literally to the wire because I couldn't. You technically have the lock there, even like regardless what happens, because if let's say I don't have Rampaging Raptor with the trample, you just attack with all your dudes on your next turn. Even if let's say you didn't even have the Skyclave, you just attack with these, and I think I have to block. So even if I let this through, I have to block a few dudes, and then I take 2 because I basically can't let if 4 dudes die, I take 8. But if I let 3 die and 1 through, then I think I was dead no matter what. So it literally came down to I needed Galta and Rampaging Raptor for the trample specifically.
Yeah, part of me kind of regrets not hitting the Grafdigger's Cage, knowing that I drew the 2 Cocos. Hindsight's 2020. I still think the correct line was to get the Ripjaw Raptor there to try to save my life a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Yeah, just hitting the lands late in the 22 land deck just was not where I needed to be in that game, and you kind of capitalized that because you were just drawing bombs there at the end.
And let's also think about this too. With the Ripjaw Raptor, I drew, I think, 3 extra cards with it because I had 2 Reckless Rages with it, and I had the initial Marauding Raptor trigger too.
Yeah, I thought that I was getting good value with the Grim Haruspex before you killed it, but it drew me a couple of lands and another elf or 2. Like, it just wasn't getting me there where I needed it to be. If I would have had like another Skyclave earlier in the game, it definitely would have shifted things up, but I only saw the 1/2.
Right. So, okay, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and head to the post-game analysis. We will see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we are back for the post-game analysis. So a couple of things we're going to go over is just kind of like how the match went overall. Then we're going to kind of talk about how it would overall fare in the metagame, like our decks. And then the third thing would be like what new card or reprint would be huge for our decks. So I'm going to go ahead and let Hunter start off. So first thing is, how do you think the match went overall?
Honestly, like, even though I lost 3 games, a couple of it was due to you having, like, the pretty good hate pieces in time, but, like, even in that last game was super competitive right up until the end, both of us trying to figure out lines. I didn't think the matchup was awful. That game that you went Raptor, dude, and just trampled over was pretty rough, but, like, that's kind of what you sacrifice with playing a deck with a bunch of little dudes with a linear game plan. There's no real way to try to outgrind the mid-range decks. So honestly, I didn't hate the matchup. The deck still looked pretty strong, even with all the cards that have come in since I've played this last. So overall, I still think it went pretty good.
Yeah, the match was definitely very interesting. So for game 1 for me, if I had the Marauding Raptor off the commune, we would have been in like super good shape, and I feel like we were like a turn and a half behind. Game 2 was essentially game 1 if I had Marauding Raptor. Like, obviously, it was just Marauding Raptor, Rampaging Raptor, attack for 8, Regisaur Alpha, attack for 13, and then just Galta for the absolute overkill. And then, yeah, game 3, I feel like there was not too much I could do for the most part. Like, it was just like you just had, like, you were able to assemble your combo, which is, obviously, I'm a Gruul aggro deck, combo's combo. And then game 4 was, like, I'm not going to lie, I was very lucky for Dinosaurs. I had the 2 Regisaur Alphas, which is the second best card in the deck. I had the 1 of Grafdigger's Cage. I had two Reckless Rages and a Stomp. 2 of the Reckless Rages targeted my Ripjaw Raptors to draw 2 extra cards. Like, it was just like bang, 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 bang. And then the last turn of the game, where it's show me what you got, I had the Rampaging Raptor that I drew like the previous turn for exact trample damage. So it was like, it was so close. I think if we played that exact game, obviously not counting what we drew, I think you probably win those hands. I would say probably like 7, 8 out of 10 times.
Oh yeah, like in all honesty, I was like a sack outlet or another Skyclave apparition away from winning that game, I felt, just because, like, with the 2 dudes that were the 2 drain effects and just the board that I assembled with you being at such low life, and plus, like, if I had another Skyclave, I could have, like, ate another dude, got rid of the Grafdigger's Cage for the Cocos I drew, hindsight's 2020 and all, but I think, yeah, I was just maybe like a card or 2 away from really pushing over the edge on that last game there. So, like I said, the games did feel a little bit competitive for the most part. I didn't hate the matchup by any means. I think it's just a matter of who can get their game plan going faster.
Yep, nope, that's fair. So, okay, so moving to question number 2, how do you think your deck would fare overall in the Pioneer metagame?
I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's bad either. Against decks probably like mono red and mono white that are looking to just play small dudes and grow them over time and just cast like burn spells and removal spells. This deck probably fares well against, because my little dudes don't care about going to the graveyard, and being able to rally them back in those matchups to drain and bring more chump blockers in is going to be really, really nice. Against the decks that are like unfair, like Nykthos and or like Rakdos, Shieldred, removal deck, they're probably not that good. So I would probably say about like tier 2.5, tier 2-ish, I would want to say probably.
That's fair. So the way I envision your deck almost is I almost envision it as a less glass cannony Abzan Greasefang. So like you're a graveyard-ish deck, you know, with the Rally the Ancestors. But I feel like you're also like if they just go Necromentia on Greasefang, then like Greasefang all of a sudden has to play a bunch of Chariots and play Fair Magic. But like whereas you're just like, I'm just gonna play Collected Company, play a bunch of dudes for extreme value, and if you can't answer my graveyard, I'm just gonna sack them all, bring them back, and just drain you out of the game. So that's kind of how I envision it in particular. But so at least with my deck, so with Gruul Dinosaurs, with the overall metagame is similar to Gruul Boats, you know, Gruul Aggro, where you just like play a bunch of Gruul dudes and turn them sideways. I think with Gruul Dinosaurs, it does have a decent shot at doing okay in the metagame. It really just, you have to have a decent bracket in a way. So I would say with Gruul Dinosaurs, it's favorable against every other aggro deck in the metagame, I would say. Just because my dudes are bigger than theirs, I draw cards. I just have, like, Reckless Rage is an insanely good card. Marauding Raptor is one of the, like, I would say, like, in terms of, like, synergy cards, it's a very, very powerful synergy card. I mean, it makes my creatures cost less mana, it pumps itself, and it potentially draws cards with Ripjaw Raptor, which is just an insanely good combination of cards.
And at the end of the day, it's a 2-3 for 2. You know, most decks are paying, you know, sometimes 3-4 mana to get cards like that. So against other like mid-rangey aggro decks, if you're just like turn 2/2/3, they're like, I got a bunch of 1/1s and a bunch of 2/1s. Pass the turn.
Right.
Not attacking into that.
Exactly. So yeah, at least for it to do good in an overall metagame, you know, mono green is not a good matchup for it. I've played the matchup quite a bit, and it's very unfavorable. Rakdos midrange is better of a matchup, but it's still very tough. I would say black midrange decks have definitely been the ultimate foil for the Gruul Dinosaurs deck for sure. So
ultimate foil to the format.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, for sure. But okay, so third question and the final question we have is what reprint or like hypothetical new card would make your deck a lot better? Maybe bump it up a whole nother tier.
Honestly, I don't think that there's a lot that you could make or reprint to make this deck, you know, super into the tier 1 area as far as Magic. A really good reprint for the deck, though, would be, I believe, a Viscera. Having a 1-mana sack outlet that you can be able to play earlier in the game would be, you know, much better off than having to deal with, like, Woe Strider as your 3-drop, or just playing, like, a Cartel Aristocrat where you don't get a lot of value from sacrificing, because being able to scry off the sacrifice is honestly really, really good with this deck, so having that on a 1-mana creature with Viscera would be really, really nice.
So, hypothetically, if Viscera was printed tomorrow in Pioneer, what would you sub out of the deck?
I would probably go ahead and cut the 2 Cartel Aristocrats. I might cut an Elvish Visionary and then one of the 8-drop Elves, and do 4 Woe Striders and 4 of the Viscera.
Okay, for sure. When we were actually discussing this right before we recorded it, and we were both kind of brainstorming cards that could be good for our decks, and that was mine, like, kind of like, what if they printed that? So that would be pretty sweet. It's actually technically... It's not M13, it's M12, I think, maybe. I don't even know. But yeah, Viscera, I feel like it would be fair for the format, too. Like, it would definitely not be, like, overpowered by any stretch of the imagination.
I think, yeah, no, like, honestly, if Viscera was printed, it would probably even bring some of those, like, tier 3, tier 4 niche, like, sacrifice-style decks more closer to the tier 2, tier 3 higher range for decks.
Now, hear me out. Carrion Feeder.
I think that one might be too good.
Carrion Feeder, now that I think about it, like, Carrion Feeder would probably be too good, but, like, man, I tell you, that would be a very cool card. But maybe that's discussion for another day with Carrion Feeder. But I think with my deck, so obviously with Dinosaurs, all of the main good ones, since they were an Ixalan forward, there's not any reprint that would, like, make the deck better, unless you include, like, oh, Birds of Paradise or anything like that. But assuming, like, a hypothetical card, I think that Dinosaurs needs a good 2 or 3 drop. So, like, obviously Marauding Raptor is insane, but that's the only, like, 2-drop in the deck is Marauding Raptor, because it's, like, the only one that's decent. Like, the thing is with, like, Odapec Huntmaster is, A, I don't even play any in the list, and B, it's not a dinosaur, so you can't hit it off of the Commune with Dinosaurs. The 3-drops, there are, you know, like, Rampaging Raptor is a solid 3-drop. Or Rampaging Frostodon, Rampaging Raptor is a 4-drop, but Frostodon is a solid card by itself, but I don't think it's quite I don't want to say good enough, but I don't think it's what Dinosaurs needs to be better.
And plus, like, with as many creatures as you play in your deck, it will get to a point where you're going to find a matchup where you play the Raptor and you go untap, play a Rampaging Ferocidon. Oh, I'm going to take 2. That puts me down to X life. My opponent can just untap and kill me now. So there is that bit of a drawback with how many creatures you actually play in the deck at the end of the day. It will get a little bit painful against you at some point.
It does, actually. So, like, that's actually one of the issues where I had it in the main board for a little while, but what would happen as I'd go Ripjaw, take a damage, Register Alpha, take 2 damage, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm dying on backswings and stuff like that, which is why I ultimately cut it from I cut it from the main board as a whole. So, but I think that's what Dinosaur needs. You know, a 1-drop, it doesn't really need. It has, at least for Pioneer, it has Commune with Dinosaurs and it has Elves. So at that point, 1-drop's really not a thing that it really needs. I think it just needs another 2 or 3 drop. It needed a 4-drop for a long time, but we got Rampaging Raptor in March of the Machines, which was absolutely insane. Shifting Ceratops is a solid card overall, but Rampaging Raptor, like we obviously saw on turn 3, I was attacking for 8, untapped, attack for 13. Like,
it was pretty good.
So, yeah, I think overall, and again, the 5-drop is covered. Register Alpha is absolutely cracked. I don't think we really need a better one as a whole. So, okay, well, that is the end of the episode. Hunter, I'd like to thank you for playing some Paper Magic today.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me come and play some more. I always enjoy coming over and playing games and making some content for you.
No, this is definitely fun. So, okay, our deck list will be in the description below if you'd like to check them out for yourself. And as always, let us know in the comment section below. How many misplays did we make for the day? What would you change about our decks? Just let us know in the comments section below. So, I'm Commander Crane. That's Hunter. And we'll catch you in the next one.